forgive me if I missed some of you, but I wanted to pay a tribute not only to Enid, but to all her daughters and all the rest of the family. I would like to say that it's actually very telling that on the day that we lost her, the day she passed away, she had been with her oldest daughter, Pixie. Oh, hold on a minute, Andrew.
It's all right, it's all right.
She'd been with Diana, visited for a few minutes. I was in my car on the way to her. Joy had booked a ticket and was just about to make her journey and sadly just missed her. And Caroline was away for a few days in Wales, but knowing she would be away, had visited her every day the week before. So that's pretty telling. And she said to me on many occasions over the last year, I've got the best family, the best daughters in the world. And Diana's reply to that, which I quoted her every single time, was, well, Mummy, if that's what you think, that's because you brought us up that way. She had a very light side of life. Tom said in the church, her motto was have a goal or have an aim, and she most certainly did. She had two in particular. One was a certain type of husband. She knew who she wanted, and when she saw this man walking along in Regent's Park, she thought, Joy will tell you the story better than me, I've got to get this man, he looks just what I want. She pushed her friend into the lake, hit her on the head with an oar, so the story goes, and who dived into the rescue but a man who 2 years later she'd married. Yes. She'd met him at 16, married at 18, and christened Diana, her first daughter, on Enid's 21st birthday.
Well done.
The early part of her life was difficult because she had two young children and, as Bob said in the church, was working hard to promote his career and raise the young children. As life got more comfortable, she achieved her second aim, which was to travel. She loved travelling. They first went to Switzerland, which ultimately became her home. They went to Italy a lot, where they made friends with Gracie Fields, many of you have heard of, the singer whose job as well as her love was to lift up the spirits of people who were down in the dumps, for reasons that the older people will know, the wartime. But they made great friends because Enid and Gracie were both from Lancashire. Or Gracie was from Lancashire, Enid spent lots of her childhood with her grandmother in Lancashire. So the very last time I saw Enid, she sang to me. She sang word for word the first two hymns which we sang in church today. Every single word. All things bright and beautiful, I vow to thee my country. Also, My Old Man's a Dustman. And London Pride, amongst others. Yes, yes. It's too much for me to say what I was going to say, but I'd like to read you a couple of quotes. Not because I'm excluding the others, but Tristan hasn't managed to see her for a long time, sadly because he lives so far away and has a big family himself. So I want to just say that she was so proud, well, with everyone, past and one coming up in the future, Roz, going to get married shortly, to know about their weddings, to attend them when she could. On Tristan's wedding day, there was a book sent out, written by members of the family, and I would like to quote what Tristan said to Enid. And I've got this book, along with lots of photographs, if anybody wants to see later on, or I've got videos as well. Tristan, thank you so much for being here on this day. Do you remember the date, Tristan?
September 14th, 1997.
Yes, brilliant.
I better remember it.
And this, what Tristan wrote applies to me, and I think to all of us today, saying, all my family from overseas has been special to me. I love you dearly. That was from Tristan to Poppy. And Kieran wrote, it is so great to see you here, and this applies to all of you, at such a special occasion. This family always means such a lot to me, and even more so today. With my love, Kieran. So, those, amongst so many other stories that perhaps you don't want me to go into, just show she was brilliant. She was brilliant. She had a great sense of humour, a little word of a sense of humour. She didn't want to go into Sunrise at all. She wouldn't have care at home. She travelled. Caroline and I were privileged to escort her on some journeys. After, at 80, we realised she'd always wanted to go to Russia. It was now or never. So we took her, and it became one of many trips that we were able to do, which helped her. We got to know her as a friend, but she couldn't have done them without us. It worked beautifully. But she also made those journeys that she could across the Atlantic to visit the O'Grady's, and she loved to go to the wedding of Tristan. She would have gone to Rebecca's if she could. She stayed on with Joy, and she was very honoured that Diana invited her more than once to Spain, and she told me how proud she was that you seemed honoured to introduce her to your friends as her mother. Caroline and I enjoyed her company on those trips, and Caroline was able, living near, to host her so many Christmas lunches, Easter and Mothering Sunday lunches. So, you know, we all loved her. All the rest of you, I wish I could name you all, but there's not space, you'll be fed up with me. But she enjoyed life. She loved Lugano. A friend in Lugano wrote to me last week saying, I'm so sorry to hear about it, but when you cleared her flat, Jackie, you gave me her plants from her balcony, and they are now blooming in my garden in memory of Enid. And I thought that was pretty touching too. I heard her saying her prayers 2 weeks ago. On the balcony of Sunrise, 2 weeks ago, the last time I saw her, she sang word for word a song with which I would like us, well, after we've raised a glass in memory to her, I'd like us all to finish. I don't mean say goodbye to you all, because I hope we'll see one another many times in the future, but to take away a memory. We're saying farewell to Enid, but not to one another for the rest of our lives, I hope. But she would be like to be remembered in the words of her old friend Gracie Field. So let's raise a glass to Enid, and then feel uplifted with her spirit. So,
Jackie.
To Enid. And Mummy, our mother, grandmother, friend.
Bravo.
Aunt.
Well done.